Good evening. Welcome to Inside Asia. I am Akrapong Kamkun, your host for tonight. Tonight, we are going to have a discussion with Mr. Thanong Khanthong, Editor-in-Chief of Nation Multimedia Group. The topic is a conflict in South China Sea. And let's hear a little bit about the conflict.
The South China Sea dispute is a conflict of sea territorial claims, which involves several countries including China, Brunei, the Philippines, and Vietnam, and especially Philippines and Vietnam that has been the long adversaries to China since the 70s. The South China Sea is considered to be one of the most important strategic area in terms of military and economically. There are speculations that the area is rich of natural resources such as petroleum and natural gas. The conflict of territorial claims over the area is still ongoing, so tonight we will be taking a closer look on the matter and discussing the roles of the key players in the conflict.
So we are now with Mr. Thanong Khanthong, Editor-in-Chief of the Nation Multimedia Group. Welcome to Inside Asia.
Hello.
So let's start with the very basic question. What is the genesis of the conflict in South China Sea?
I think the problems in the South China Sea has been around, within this region, for quite some time. But the conflict, has only been recently flared up, with a sudden change in the policy of the superpowers, particularly the United States, which would like to focus, more on the security or military affairs, in this part of the world, particularly in the Asia Pacific. I think the underlying conflict, has to do with the United States' attempt to contain the rise of China.
Yes.
If we follow the news, back in during the time when Indonesia hosted the ASEAN Summit, and later on back-to-back East Asian Summit, President Obama made his way to Bali and announced a shift in the U.S. policy that it would be increasing its presence, military presence, in the Asia Pacific, with a concentration in these regions. And within the Asia Pacific, the hotspot or the contentious point is the South China Sea, in which China has long-standing problems with its neighbor, Vietnam, Malaysia, the Philippines, Taiwan. All of these countries, have contentious claim, in the South China Sea, where oil or gas reserves, have been claimed, to have in abundance. But you have to look beyond this, this territorial conflict, this regional conflict, because it not only involves the regional players, but the superpowers.
So that means this is not just only the conflicts of between the countries that located around the South China Sea, but I would like to know what are the differences between the current conflicts and the former conflicts that people might focus on just territorial disputes, but also you mentioned already about the how to say the competing power between the superpowers.
Because the current conflict has almost 100% involved the Association of Southeast Asia, the ASEAN.
Yes.
Before the conflict, the nature of the conflict is more bilateral. Whenever China had any problems with Vietnam, or Vietnam had problems with China, the Philippines, they went through the bilateral means. And the issues have been in the news business for a long time, almost 3 decades. The stories were not treated very significantly at that time, because it's like a neighbor to neighbors conflict. But this time around, the situation is quite different, and the international media, the regional media, have been playing up, this conflict. And you can see that whenever the Philippines or Vietnam come out against China, it's come out with a very strong position, unlike the past, when
Yes.
when the conflicting parties would like to maintain it at try to play down the conflict. But during this time, it's quite different.
Okay.
Each party, would like to play it up.
Yes. Okay, after the short break, we will come back to discuss more about this subject.